So I was having a conversation with my friend yesterday, and I was having her read something that I wrote recently or that I'm working on. And I believe that Spirit used her to remind me why it is that I am being led to share or teach some of the things that I have made classes about on my Patreon. One of those things is my spiritual technology course. It is a series that I just began that is nowhere near finished, but there are two classes up about it. Specifically, the spiritual technology course that I started or have started, or series that I've started, is about my personal framework for spiritual strategy, right? I believe that there is a foundation that needs to be built for anybody stepping into spirituality, especially for the first time, especially those of us who have started with coming from a different religion or what Christianity has become today. I believe that it is important to learn certain foundational tools so that you don't jump out and put yourself or make yourself vulnerable to be used, manipulated, harmed, or to move into things through curiosity that could possibly put you in danger. And so that is basically what my spiritual technology series is about, is me teaching you the framework that I feel like is possible to build the framework foundation that you can build whatever spiritual practice that you're going to go into on. Again, this is just the foundational tools, but essentially having this conversation with my homegirl made me brought back to my attention again that a lot of things that I think are common knowledge are not common at all. So I'm starting this series to kind of give y'all insight into my spiritual technology class, and so I'm going to read to you the framework that I am building and showing out, or that I have built and am sharing throughout this series. This series goes, of course, way more into depth, but I think that it is okay and I feel comfortable with sharing the very first course for y'all because y'all need it. It's not something that you can't figure out on your own, but I figured it out the hard way. So I might as well share it with you so you don't have to go through all those bumps and bruises. Okay, so the first course in the spiritual technology series is called a foundational framework for spiritual strategy. All right, what is spiritual technology? Spiritual technology is the practice of utilizing tools provided through our spiritual culture, tradition, and lived experiences. These are not metaphorical tools, but functional, applicable techniques passed down through generations and proven through consistent practice. Defining technology in a spiritual context, I define technology as the application of knowledge for practical purposes. In spiritual work, this means utilizing time tested practices like prayer, ritual, bathing, divination, ancestral offerings as precise tools within predictable outcomes when applied correctly. The framework that I am leading from is rooted in Alabama Hoodoo, Isheshe Ifa tradition, and Haitian Voodoo. I designed this as a foundational framework intentionally. Just as a building requires solid foundation before adding floors, spiritual practitioners need a base before engaging in advanced practices like deity work, mediumship, divination, and energy healing. Students who skip this foundation often experience spiritual confusion, manipulation, and attachment issues, burnout, and more dangerous scenarios. A good example of this would be how there has been an influx of like these tarot readers and these so-called self-divination people, practitioners who have been popular on the internet, and now like they going through these hard initiation phases and these hard lessons and tasks that basically are results of their character or their lack of spiritual and energetic foundation, and they start going through something that's hard and scary, and then they go back to Christianity, and it's because they have no foundation to stand on. You can't just find out that you have a gift or you're good at a specific modality of divination and then you just start doing readings for people. Like, it's a lot of steps before that. It's a whole lot of steps before that, especially when regards to making yourself responsible and open yourself up to other people's energy. But I won't go too far into that. All right, let's get into the 7 foundational tools. The tools build upon each other in a specific sequence, and that's for a reason. I'll give you those reasons. Each tool must be established before the next can be fully integrated. Okay, so first we'll start with cleansing. The definition would be the removal of unwanted energies, influences, or attachments from physical body, mental space, emotional field, or spiritual essence. The reason why it comes first is because most people have already opened themselves up to spirituality. Opened themselves up spiritually through curiosity, trauma, substance abuse, an unconscious invitation, and they've given permission to energies that they are unaware of. So cleansing clears the field before establishing boundaries. It's like saying if you want to put on some shoes to protect your feet, you're not going to put your feet into those shoes while your feet are dirty, right? So you need to cleanse yourself of all the unwanted things that you've already accumulated on yourself and in your energetic field and in your mind and in your thought and in your emotions before we move on to the next step, which will be protection. The four dimensions of cleansing are, of course, physical, mental, emotional, spiritual. With physical cleansing, we can do ritual baths, smudging, floor washes, disposal of energetic contaminated objects, and more. With mental cleansing, we can do thought pattern interruption, cognitive reframing, releasing limited beliefs, and more. With emotional cleansing, you can do processing and releasing stored trauma, grief work, forgiveness practices, and more. With spirituality and spiritual cleansing, we can do cord cutting, entity removal, clearing ancestral patterns, and closing unwanted portals, and more. It gets real deep, like I said. This is our first class, or this is the first course, so I go deeper and, like I said, more in depth as the series goes on into each practice. The second one, or the second step, would be learning protection. For the purposes of this course, protection is the establishment of spiritual boundaries and shields across all timelines and dimensions to prevent unwanted intrusion, attachment, or influence. The reason why it comes second is because once you've cleansed, you need to prevent recontamination. Protection creates a filter. Wanted energies can enter, unwanted cannot. This is where we create boundaries and set clear intention. Multi-dimensional protections could include protecting your physical space, your energetic body, your mental body, emotional body, across time and across dimensions. I know that when we think about protection, we think about it in the physical way, but you got to think about when you jump into spirituality that we are dealing with energy, we're dealing with frequency, we're dealing with different timelines and different dimensions. So you want to be protected across all timelines and all dimensions. The third step or third level is discernment, of course. I know y'all didn't think I was going to keep on going without discernment. The definition for the purposes of this course is the ability to accurately identify and differentiate between types of spiritual communication, entities, energies, and human intentions. The reason why it comes third is because with a clean slate and protective boundaries, you can now safely practice identifying what is approaching you. The skill prevents impersonation, deception, and misguided spiritual relationships. This is also the most overlooked tool in the learning to recognize and differentiate between the communication you're experiencing from yourself and from other spirits. The levels of discernment will include entity identification, human intentions, meaning the intentions of the people that you are interacting with, internal and versus external, meaning are these experience or the communications that you're experiencing coming from external sources, or do they belong to you? Are these your thoughts, or these thoughts that somebody gave you? You know, feel me? And then, of course, quality assessment, determining if the guidance is beneficial, neutral, or harmful to you. The fourth step is spiritual and energetic hygiene. The definition for the purpose of this course is a consistent routine that integrates the big three, cleansing, protection, and discernment, into daily practice to maintain spiritual safety and groundedness in the body, mind, and soul. The reason why it comes forth is because mastery of individual tools means nothing without, mastery of those first individual tools means nothing without consent and application. So hygiene transforms techniques into lifestyle, ensuring sustained spiritual health. A lot of people talk about, and especially like my clients and people I see on the internet, they talk about how they are feeling foggy and they feeling clouded, or they may have been in a good mood earlier today and then they went around such and such and now they feel messed up, and they don't understand why they feel messed up. It's because you don't have no level of spiritual hygiene. The same way we cleanse our body and we clean our body every single day and we brush our teeth every single day, we have to keep up with the protection and the cleansing work. Cleansing and protection and discerning what's going on around you shouldn't be something that you only do when you finna get a reading. It shouldn't be something that you only do every week or every so often. Like, you need to keep those things in those practices in rotation every single day so that you don't make yourself vulnerable to have any extra issues or, you know what I'm saying, things that are unexpected come up in your life. The components of spiritual hygiene are daily maintenance, of course, weekly deep work, and red flag recognition. You want to know when the hygiene has lapsed and how to course correct, all right?